We are La Force. We are St. Louis.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And tonight the road trip continues. We're in San Diego. It's game number 2 of the 4-game series from Petco Park. The St. Louis Cardinals and the San Diego Padres. Jim Hayes is here. That's Al Raboski. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Welcome to Cardinals baseball. A solid win, 2-1 for the Cardinals last night. Miles Michaelis, very good to start. And then the back end of the bullpen, well, they held up that lead.
That was outstanding pitching all the way around. But the bullpen, they came in, they needed to get 7 big outs. It started with Hicks. He got the one man. He retired him to get out of the 7th inning. Holland came in for the 8th. 1, 2, 3. Great outing for him. And then you turned it back over to Bud Norris, who also picked up his 8th save with a 1, 2, 3 inning.
Bud Norris 8 for 8 in save opportunities. Michaelis now 5-0. The pitching, all told, it's been very good. Arm strength, pitching this season. A look at the major league ranks in ERA. Home runs allowed, the fewest. Total bases, and then the opposition slugging percentage. Very, very good for the first place Cardinals. Luke Weaver gets the call tonight. It's game number 2. Weaver and the Cardinals coming up on Fox Sports Midwest. night. A Tommy Pham home run. Jose Martinez in RBI. Colton Wong doing it defensively. Will it add up to a win in game number 2? We're about to find out. Padres Cardinals next. Young Cardinal fan here. I'm sure he was happy last night if he stayed up late. Cardinals picked up a win. They're now 21-14. The lineup, Tommy Pham at the top, followed by Harrison Bader and then Jose Martinez. Marcell Ozuna, Jed Jerko, Paul DeYoung, Carson Kelly, Colton Wong, and the pitcher Luke Weaver. Eric Lauer, a lefty, coming off of 6 shutout innings to beat the Dodgers 3-0 last Sunday. Prior to that, he had allowed 10 runs in 8 innings in his first 2 major league starts.
His first major league start was in Colorado, and that never helps. But for Andy Green, he's 22 years of age. He was their #1 draft pick in 2016, and last year split time in A-ball and Double-A. So rushed to the big leagues by the Padres. He's not a particularly hard thrower, so it's the fastball he must spot, and the cutter is important for him.
And that floats in there for a ball. 2 balls, no strikes on Tommy Pham. Comes in 4th in the National League, hitting .330, 2 hits last night. Odubel Herrera leading the senior circuit, batting .353. Here's a 2-1 pitch to Pham, and Tommy rifles one out to left. He's had 5 plate appearances in this series. All 5 have been hard hit balls.
Sure has, 3 hits to go for it. Yesterday got started with a base hit, and here he just drops ahead and just rifles his ball into left field. It makes a difference when he's in a ball game. Usually the Cardinals win, but it's usually because of his heroics.
Tommy Pham with 7 steals. He's been caught 4 times. Here's Harrison Bader. He's in right field tonight. Both Fowler and Carpenter on the bench. Makes sense. Dexter Fowler is 1 for 29 against left-handed pitching this year.
Both of them are struggling, but it's a matter of time before they'll break out of it. Harrison Bader gives you a little bit of a jump, a high energy guy.
I talked at length with Tommy Pham for about an hour today in the team hotel, and he told me he has on a piece of paper back home in Las Vegas individual goals. He said, number 1, Team goal is to win. Then after that, all-star appearance, that would mean a lot to him. Number 2, 30-30. I said, what about an MVP? And he said, now you're talking. But he said in terms of stolen bases, he's got 7. Caught 4 times, as I mentioned. He said sometimes that's been hit and run, other circumstances, but he'd like to improve with the stolen bases. He's just making things happen.
Yeah, 6 home runs.
And he's now picked off. A throw to second and out.
The second pickoff of the year for Lauer. He had 10 last year in the minor leagues, and Tommy Pham isn't quite sure he wants to leave second base. We'll see if there's a challenge.
And the Cardinals will not challenge. This has been one of the issues, though, for Tommy. Very aggressive, and at times he will get picked off.
I do like it, though. Just go ahead and run to second base. Don't get another run down. This is the big leagues. They're usually going to get you out.
Harrison Bader with a fly ball out to center. Margot racing in. Out number 2. Look at the Hyundai pitch arsenal. You can see already, as Al told you, not a hard thrower. Fastball, cutter, changeup, and curve. He was the 25th overall selection out of Kent State in 2016. There's Jose Martinez with 2 outs.
They were well aware of that pickoff move.
Jose is batting .357 away from home. That's in the top 5 of the National League. You may see Matt Carpenter as a late inning replacement defensively. That was the case last night. Jerko came in off the bench, went to third, Carpenter to first, but Matt right now, he's in a rut. 4 for his last 43. Lefty on the mound, he'll sit for the time being. What a story it's been. 887 career minor league games for Jose Martinez before making his debut with the Cardinals, and now batting in the middle of the lineup. Sends a fly ball into shallow right. Travis Jankowski is there, makes the catch. Luke Weaver to the mound when we come back. Over the Cubs in 10 innings. You may recall that was the Colton Wong extra inning home run against Chicago. Lasted just 4 innings, allowed 4 runs. It's been a rough go. 18 runs in his last 18 innings.
Yeah, and I think he's gotten away from attacking the strike zone. You know, get back to doing what he did last year, where late in the season he had a 7-game winning streak, including a real good effort against the Padres. where in 7 innings he struck out 10.
Jankowski, Hosmer, and Perella. Then Cordero, Villanueva, Galvis, Ellis, Margot, Lauer. The starting 9, the batting order of the San Diego Padres. Jankowski, a little flare out to left and a base hit. Mentioned last night he can run. Already a couple of stolen bases this year. Look at the pitch arsenal for Luke Weaver.
Some people believe he got a little bit, he got away from his fastball command, and then he fell a little bit in love with the changeup, where if he's going back and attacking the strike zone, getting first pitch strikes, that'll help. Everything else will fall into place.
Well, you mentioned the changeup, and that pitch to left-handed batters, that's been problematic. That changeup's getting hit and hard. And a strike at 94 from Weaver.
He's a good athlete, very competitive. He'd be the first one to want to stop this little bad streak.
Here's the 0-1. Good pitch in on his hands at 95. Eric Hosmer at the plate. 7 years in the big leagues with the Kansas City Royals. Became a free agent. Career .284 hitter. Some were pretty surprised he signed with San Diego. A lot of thought that went into his free agency was the fact that some around baseball thought he would go to a contender. The question is, what contenders wanted him?
Yes.
Makes you wonder about his market.
Yeah, it really did surprise you that he would choose to go to a club that is stated they're in rebuilding phase. And with some of the free agents that left Kansas City, maybe they are too.
All-star. 4 Gold Gloves. And a Silver Slugger. World champion in 2015 with the Kansas City Royals. That's line foul. You gotta have a glove, don't you? Not the kind of gloves that just keep you warm.
As you can see, the Chamber of Commerce in San Diego is a little embarrassed with this weather. 59 degrees at start time.
Chilly.
And damp chilly.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Hosmer. The outfield is straight away and deep. His time was called. That's Laz Diaz who's behind the plate. A changeup taken low. So there's a changeup to a lefty, and that's pretty good location right there.
Yes, I mean, ideally you want to keep it away from him. You want to keep it down. A lot of times you'll have a right-hander have that changeup that just kind of fades away from them, so they're overly aggressive. They're going to be pulling it a little bit now. Fastball in.
And a base hit out to left field. The first 2 have reached. Soft liners to left. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs. The Cardinals defensively tonight. Ozuna had his 2nd outfield assist of the year in Game 1. He's in left. Pham in center. Harrison Bader is in right. Jerko, DeYoung, Wong, and Martinez along the infield, and Carson Kelly is behind the plate. Jose Perella. He's a 3rd place hitter and yet no home runs this year. The Padres have 1 home run in their last 139 at bats, and we talked about it in the open. The Cardinals and their staff, they're stingy in terms of home runs allowed, fewest in the major leagues with 28. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Pirelli has faced and is 1 for 3 against Weaver. The only other players that have faced him would be Galvis, who's 1 for 2, and Margot, who's 0 for 3.
Here's a 1-1 fastball and a strike in 95. Also, the ground ball percentage has been down early going here for Luke Weaver. That's something you think about with a couple of runners on and nobody out, the potential of the double play.
Yeah, strikeouts are down, walks are up. So that's why they thought he wasn't attacking the zone.
Here's a 1-2. Missed on the inside corner. Evens it up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. That start against the Padres was August 23rd of last year. Matched his career high with those 10 strikeouts. A 6-2 win. And the 2-2 right down the middle. He struck him out. And the first strikeout for Luke Weaver. Missouri Lottery Foxtrots.
Off-speed pitch, good location down at the bottom of the strike zone, freezing a hitter. And let's get that ground ball and get out of this inning.
Here's Cordero. He had 3 hits last night, and he's batting .345 in the month of May. That pitch taken in. Padres looking to avoid matching their worst 40-game start of a season since they opened up Petco Park 2004. That team went on to finish 10 games below the 500 mark. Padres are 14-25.
Does it surprise you to know that the Cardinals, with their record, was really basically 1 game better than they were at this point last year?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 years ago, it seemed like the Cubs just burst out of the gates and never looked back. Last year, took them a while to get going. It was Milwaukee that was the big surprise in the division a season ago. Here's what you're talking about. Last 2 seasons through 35 games.
Look at see, the offense has been down. It's the biggest thing, but the pitching has been a little better. And that's been the strength of the Cardinals this year. It's been the pitching. And we think it's even going to get better.
The 2-1 pitch. 2-2. Alex Reyes, end of the month or early June, will be with the Cardinals. You would have to anticipate in some role. Adam Wainwright coming back. Jack Flaherty. Jim will have a report on that. The 2-2. A little bit low.
Aggressive. The Padres want to be on the base paths with a full count.
Just got a piece. Off speed pitch on a 3-2 count.
This level that separates the minor leaguers from the big leaguers. If you can throw pitches, off speed pitches behind the count, you can wear that major league uniform.
And a check swing. Watch out. He wants to make sure and get to Cooperstown. About a month and a half as his brother will head to the Hall of Fame.
Glenn Hoffman, the older brother of Trevor Hoffman, neighbors of mine. I went to the same high school. Mine was 2 centuries ago, whereas was last century.
3-2 pitch. Struck him out. Back-to-back Ks. Both looking.
Threw the off-speed pitch, first 3-2 pitch. Then he threw the fastball, he fouled it off. And he was thinking off-speed again and throws the fastball right by him.
It's an 8-pitch at bat.
A lot of guessing goes on now. Hitters. Talk about Villanueva, a big slugger, but he's 0 for his last 29.
And a breaking ball. That's in the dirt. Andy Green, the manager of the Padres, saying before the game that Villanueva will be rested against tough right-handers. And that was the case last night as Miles Michaelis shut down the Padres lineup. Villanueva hitting 171 against righties, 368 against the lefties. He's in there tonight.
Leads their club in home runs and RBIs. And just a rookie. Had 20 home runs at AAA last year and just hit a shade under 300. Miles Michaelis was really good again last night.
6 2/3, 5 hits. That's popped up out of play. Miles even said after the game he did not have his best stuff. Boy, that's really a measure of a good pitcher, not to have your best stuff and still go deep in a game.
Have that ability to win. Had to manufacture a few things, toy with a few things there, but you know, the one thing he did is he continued to attack the strike zone and pitched effectively.
And that's out of play. This young man has 9 home runs. He's driven in 20, tops on the team, and 8 of the 9 have been against left-handed pitching. So to even further the point of his struggles against the righties.
And you see a lot more right-handers than you do the lefties.
Yep. 2 on, 2 outs, 2-2 pitch. Check swing. And it did not go. We talked about the changeup against left-handed batters. Problematic at times for Weaver. The curveball to right-handers, that's been getting punished a bit.
Times it has a little hump in it. Not really pulling down on it.
Popped up. And it is playable. Jerko is there. Back-to-back singles to start the game, and they can do nothing against Luke Weaver.
Strike zone. Attack the strike zone. Get first pitch strikes. That's what they want him to do. Be very aggressive. And we got to get this offense picked up. Jerko, who's got great numbers against the former team he played for. Matter of fact, 500 average with 7 home runs, 16 RBIs against his former teammates.
There's Marcell Ozuna. And strike one. Ozuna on the year, batting .254. Couple of home runs. Been about a month or so since his last home run, and he's driven in 19. One back of Martinez for the team lead.
So did have 2 hits yesterday.
And he's got 3 in the series. Second Cardinal hit. Ozuna aboard. And a look at our Kubota power stats. Great numbers against his former team. 18 for 36. The 7 home runs, 16 driven in. And he's done that in just a handful of games against the Padres.
Mike Matheny had a little explaining to do and why he was not in the lineup yesterday. And one was because he was 1 for 6 against yesterday's starter.
That's out of play.
And he knew that with a couple lefties in this, still yet in this 4-game series, that he would get plenty of bats in the series. But we both commented that we were a little surprised that he wasn't in the lineup yesterday.
I'll say I was shocked. Not just a little surprised. Okay. I was shocked.
I was a little surprised you were shocked. And we didn't ask Mike any of those questions as to why.
Let's check in with Jim Hayes. Jimmy.
Yeah, I was talking to Jed about the success he's had against the Padres, and he told me, I don't think there's anything to it really. Every time we play the Padres, it seems I'm kind of hot and seeing the ball well. When you go through stretches like that, it could be against anyone. And Dan, Jed said that he takes no particular joy in beating his old team. He told me, I don't care who I get my home runs against.
He's had, coming into this year, 50 first 2 years with the Cardinals. A trade that sent John Jay to San Diego. John is now with the Kansas City Royals. Here's a 1-2 pitch.
Like that one there. Jumped on that high pitch.
Well, Miles Michaelis was asked after the game last night, did he take any extra satisfaction in beating the team that originally drafted him? And he just kind of smiled and said, it was nice.
Yeah. Well, both these guys can say there are very few players that remain from what their teammates.
Here's a 1-2. Jerko out to left and a base hit. Now hitting above 500 against the Padres. So back-to-back singles. Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks.
We're talking about this lefty. You know, he's got to stay out in the middle of the plate, and he's really got to hit corners. You know, he throws only 90. There's an off-speed pitch there that he left in the middle of the plate. Only had 32 professional appearances, 31 starts in the minor leagues. Never pitched above Double-A ball, and he was only at Double-A for 10 games, 9 starts a year ago.
Here's Paul DeYoung. Inside. If you're throwing 90, you've got to be able to still get in on right-handed batters.
And that's really what separates people. You know, can you effectively pitch to your glove side? So for a lefty, that's going to be inside to a right-handed batter. And that's exactly what you're talking about right here. They're going to try. Good job. You know, even if you miss inside off the plate, not in the middle of the plate.
One ball and one strike. DeYoung is about due.
a little talk with him today, and he was talking about how he feels, how close he is. Remember, he really got into a bad rut where a lot of strikeouts. Of course, he got the 7 home runs, but then he came home on this road trip, and all of a sudden he started seeing the ball better, walking more, career high, and the next career high 3 walks on Sunday. Then the next day he gets 3 hits. So he's feeling a little better about himself.
And the 1-2 is hit out of play. Should have known that Jed Jerko would do some damage tonight against his former team. He did it against the Cardinals.
Yes.
342 against the Cardinals.
You remember when you kind of wondered the way he hit the ball against us, and you wondered why. You can understand why the Cardinals were interested in acquiring him, but then you wondered, could he hit it against anybody else but the Cardinals? Remember, he even got sent down in the minor leagues at one point after he signed a big contract with the Padres.
DeYoung is sitting on 7 home runs. That's out of play. It's these types of pitchers that you think about with Jed Jerko too, because the Cardinals, the idea when they acquired him was to be a versatile infielder, but also a pinch hitter late, especially against lefties.
Yes, and that's what you think of him right now and against this pitcher.
Got to play again.
I think Paul DeYoung is kind of learning now how to foul off pitches. All these major leaguers can hit pitches in the strike zone, but can you hit those pitches that are in, off the plate, or down and away that are going to be called strikes, just to foul them off and give yourself that chance to wait and find that mistake pitch.
Does not have an RBI in his last 13, so he's due, and he's streaky. Here's a 1-2 inside. Boy, he's so even keel.
Right.
Nothing too high, nothing too low, even with a lot of strikeouts. Keeps his composure. This turned out to be a real threat. With that comes strikeouts, but also power. Puts it in play and taps it foul. Leads the Cardinals with 44 strikeouts, and this will be the 9th pitch coming of this plate appearance. Outfield deep, they are straight away. 2 runners on for the Cardinals, nobody out. Top of the 2nd. And DeYoung hits one out to deep left center field. He was due. Goodbye. 3-run shot. Paul DeYoung. You could see it coming. The 9th pitch of the at-bat, and he launched it. His 8th home run, and the Cardinals jump out on top.
Couldn't say it any better, Danny, but you're absolutely right. You could just see that he was just waiting for it. He's going to fight off a couple tough pitches, just waiting for that home run. And it just seems like this year, when the Cardinals hit a home run, it means victory. And with a club like the Padres, when you score first on them, not saying they give up, but their record is very, very poor. When the opposition scores against them, they're 3-24.
And a strike to Carson Kelly. He knew it.
Great power. Didn't get it far enough in.
First home run and a home run in his last 61 plate appearances. You always talk about it. The more pitches you see, the more locked in a guy gets, and he was fouling off a lot of those pitches as well.
If you are patient enough, you're going to see a mistake pitch. But if you go up there and swing at the first pitch, you neutralize your advantage.
And Kelly lines it into right field. 0 for 8. So it's being recalled. Padres defense. Cordero, Margot, and Jankowski in the outfield. Around the horn presented by Dobbs. Villanueva, Galvis, Perella, Hosmer on the infield, and the veteran A.J. Ellis is behind the plate. So DeYoung with his 8th home run, 6 of the 8 have come on the road, and here's Colton Wong. Now I put on my Twitter feed today a video of Colton Wong in his own words, done by the Players Tribune, and it's an incredible piece about Colton, talking from his perspective of what his mother meant to him, but it tied into baseball in their Mother's Day weekend. But a lot of the talk was about being picked off in the World Series.
I read about it.
It is a fantastic piece. You go to the Twitter feed at Danny Mac TV, scroll down it, you'll see it. It's about a 7-minute feature, and he is extremely emotional, talking about his mother, but also really the things that he dealt with in social media and off the field and letters after being picked off in a World Series game.
Not only that, it ended the game, game 4,
right,
picked off.
But he's so emotional in the piece, and it's really well done, and he bears his soul in it, and it's worth the 6-7 minutes to take a viewing of it. So the 1-out walk to Colton Wong, and now Luke Weaver. He's 3 for 13 and does not have a sacrifice yet this year.
I asked Luke about the number 7 he wears. He said it was my favorite number. I always wore it in high school, college. And he says, I wear it because I want to be much more than just a pitcher. I want to be an athlete. We'll get a chance to see if he's athletic enough here. Whether it's bunting or the way they're very aggressively charged, I wouldn't be surprised they took it off and put the Butcher Boy on, because he is a good athlete.
So you were saying before the Cardinals knew about this move?
Yes.
I'm assuming it's pretty good.
You know, they knew that he had picked off 1 already this year, and he had 10 last year. And
10?
Yes.
Wow.
So it was in the minor leagues, A-ball and Double-A, but still they thought
10.
that, yeah, and they thought that he had pretty good. He doesn't really give it away a little bit, you know, his head action. Sometimes if you look to home plate, you throw to first. If you look to first, you throw home. Different things like that, you know, just most obvious. But he has a pretty good hang time and keeps his body in a position where he can throw to first base, you know, pretty late in his delivery.
This will be the 30th pitch of the inning here. The next to Weaver. Instead, a check on Colton Wong at first base.
The more you throw over, the more a guy like Colton Wong, and Colton should steal a lot more bases. It's tougher batting out of the 8 spot, but the more you see, you know, guys move like that, the more you find that key, or you find the comfort level that you know you can get back. The great Lou Brock always told me Don Gullett was the toughest man for him to ever steal on, because Don Gullett never threw to first base, and he couldn't get that read. Also, what happens with young pitchers too, when they're so, attention is split, watching so much about the runner at first base, worrying about that, they lose the strike zone at the plate.
Deadens it, but it rolls foul.
So the count now from 3-0 to 3-2. 43 pitches already for this young left-hander. Squares the bunt again. And this time he gets it down. And the first sacrifice of the season for Luke Weaver. Take a look at our Kia Drive to Success Tommy Pham. In terms of WAR, wins above replacement already this season, 2.1. He was over 7 a year ago. Combining that with this year.
Infield defense is much better, as well as the outfield defense.
A base hit to left, first time up for Pham. Mentioned that he wants to be a 30-30 man, the closest to get to that, and it was overshadowed because of 70 home runs hit by a big burly redheaded guy wearing a Padre uniform in Mark McGuire. But Ray Lankford had 31 home runs and 26 steals.
Cardinals have never had a 30-30 man.
I think that kind of sums up Ray, doesn't it?
Yeah.
A lot of things overshadowed in his career. How good he really was offensively.
Big Mac, who's the bench coach for Andy Green. We talked last night about Skip Schumacher's the first base coach for the Padres. A couple of our favorites.
And Pham rips it to center. Another hard hit ball. The home run by Paul DeYoung. 8th of the year. 6 of the 8s away from Busch. 3-0 midway through 2. You can stream games live on your mobile device. Download the Fox Sports Go app. Log in, stream the Cardinals. It's presented by T-Mobile. Paul DeYoung with a 3-run homer, and it's 3-0 Cardinals. Freddie Galvis, A.J. Ellis, and Manuel Margot. Big happy birthday. He's worked on our crew for years. Greg Lilly is 84 and still working with us night in and night out when we come to San Diego. There's Greg. Happy 84th.
It's talking to Greg about his little daughter. She used to be little Danny when we had her up in Booth when I think he said she was 4 years old or something. And now she's 34. Well, he was only 50 when he had her.
That's right. Going to the count on Freddie Galvis, a switch hitter picked up from the Phillies. A fastball taken high.
A little slow start for Freddie, hitting 220 from both sides of the plate. Played every inning of every game so far.
Fouled back. Two and two the count. And the next by Weaver. Jammed him, popped out on the infield, and Jed Jerko with the catch. There were over 42,000 hits in the 2017 season. All you need is one to keep the streak alive. Download Beat the Streak today, and you can compete to win $5.6 million. Go to MLB.com/BTS or download Beat the Streak in the App Store today. Here's A.J. Ellis, and the first pitch, a ball.
Interesting that they have this veteran catcher. And I would think, you know, it makes sense. He's catching now, a rookie out there, to have his expertise to try and calm him down, trying to help him through.
Rafi Lopez is the backup catcher. We saw him last night. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. That's hit out of play.
I was with Marlins last year, but just always seem to think about him. You always remember the Dodgers.
Then I think about Clayton Kershaw. He was always his catcher.
Yeah. Fastball here.
That's out of play. Kershaw is on the DL, and the Dodgers, at least so far, and it's been early, but a little bit of a disappointment at 16 and 21. Again, early, but already 8 games back. It's Arizona out in front by 3.5 in front of the Rockies.
I think it's what, 3rd out of the last 4 years that Kershaw's been on the DL.
Could be a free agent after the season. He can opt out of his deal. And the 1-2. The foul ball. Cardinals lost a longtime fan this past Tuesday. Willis Atchison, veteran of World War II, loyal Cardinals fan, passed away at the age of 99 on Tuesday, 2 months shy of his 100th birthday. Loved his Cardinals, never missed a game on Fox Sports Midwest. Our thoughts and prayers with the Atchison family.
Fastball in. Ooh.
Where's that pitch?
You know, it was slightly in, but you know, more times you keep on hitting that spot, you'll get that. But that's what you want to do. If you miss just slightly in, just off the plate. Curveball.
And the 2-2. Ellis pops it up into shallow right field. Late break by Bader, and he makes the catch. The Padre name, a name that was adopted from a Pacific Coast League team that arrived in 1936. Won the championship at 37, led by a local hero in Ted Williams, and of course there's another great hitter in Tony Gwynn. Padre Spanish for father, and it was the Spanish Franciscan friars who founded San Diego in 1769. So when you always hear call them the Padres or Friars, now you have a better understanding as to why.
And that Pacific Coast League, at one point, guys didn't want to leave the Pacific Coast League. They were making more money than they were making in the big ones.
And you get to live here.
Yeah, San Diego, LA, San Francisco.
Ted Williams went to school about 5 miles from downtown. It was Hoover High School. Saw a couple of the players with ice bags on their arms before games, and it's funny how guys, the way that they go about it to get ready, you got ice bags, you got the hot treatment, knees, you got to get the massage. Some guys are getting vitamins at 10 in the morning.
And you know, Dan, when I played with the Cardinals, that we did not use ice. Doc Bowman didn't believe in ice. Gene Gieselman carried that tradition through. And today, we'd all wish we had the ice concession.
Margot hits it down the left field line. Racing over is Ozuna. He won't get it. Drops in for a hit. And it's a 2-out double.
Margot's kind of a dangerous hitter. Looks like if he gets a pitch, he can smoke it. And yet, if you make your good pitches, you get him out, which is pretty standard with most hitters. But he can be a dangerous eighth place hitter. He's hit 346 plus against the Cardinals. Not that many at bats, but
Eric Lauer, 1 for 5. 2 outs and a runner at second. And a check swing. Weaver to the bag, and the Padres strand their 3rd runner in 2 innings. The Padres Hall of Fame as we head to break on Fox Sports Midwest.
Heroes, because no matter where you serve or when you served, we stand ready to serve all military families.
Here's Harrison Bader. 2, 3, and 4 in the lineup for the St. Louis Cardinals. Bader, Martinez, and Ozuna. A Paul DeYoung 3-run homer. The difference so far, and it's 3-0 Cardinals. Along with Al Raboski, I'm Dan McLaughlin. And Jim Hayes is with us as well. You know, we mentioned last night the loss of Yadier Molina, what it means not to have his bat in the lineup, certainly, but the pressure of Carson Kelly to catch every single night. Now, there should be a familiarity, you would think, with Luke Weaver, but some of the veterans, that may not be the case.
But it's going to be, a real test, and an opportunity for Carson Kelly to prove that he can hit at this level. You know, this is his 49th game at the major league level, and 48, he's only batting 157.
And a strike to Bader, fly to center, first time up, then snapped his bat over his knee. He was upset, a pitch that he could drive. He pulls that foul.
There've been some loud outs.
Yes, sir.
But it's just a 3-0 game, you know, and still reachable. It's like yesterday, Cardinals had that 2-0 lead, but couldn't pull away.
And Bader hits it out to deep left field. It is gone. The second home run hit for the Cardinals. You knew he was frustrated on a pitch he could drive in the first plate appearance. This one he does out to left to make it 4-0.
Second home run of the year is RBI number 3. He's 6 for 18 and 2 home runs against the Padres. The Conga line.
Here's Jose Martinez, fly to right, first time up. I'm sure this young man Eric Lauer is going to get better and better. He's young, top draft choice, but right now I'm just not sure he's got the stuff to put big league hitters away.
It's probably a fair assessment. You know, former #1 draft pick, probably got a lot of money invested in him. And it seems like they want quick returns, but they also feel that, you know, that he's not going to, his stuff is what it is. You know, if you throw the ball down the middle of the plate and you're not throwing more than 90 miles an hour, you're going to have that result here at the big league level. Never pitched in AAA.
The 3-0 pitch hit into right, and a sliding catch. What a play by Travis Jankowski. Doesn't get much better than that. That's a great play.
They ruled it a fair ball. We've talked about his great speed, and that, he utilized that on coming in. And remember, he's coming to that point where the stands start coming towards the playing field. So right at the fair line. Catches this ball in fair territory and then slides on the dirt surface. Very nice play. And he'll have an abrasion to prove it.
Well, what a play that was.
Yeah, very nice.
Here's Marcell Ozuna.
You kind of get the feeling that a guy like Ozuna, we've seen a lot of the Cardinals, if they get a pitch in the middle of the zone, they're going to hammer it.
That's hit down the left field line. Goodbye. It's a launching pad here in San Diego. The third Cardinal home run. A solo shot for Marcell Ozuna, his third of the year.
He hadn't hit a home run since April the 12th until that swing. And we just talked about, you know, if you throw a ball where these guys can reach it, get the good swing. We're always talking about a pitch down and in, and the batter drops the bat head. It'll be an example of that.
Could see that one coming too.
Yeah, you sure could. And it may not stop.
Here's Jed Jerko. And the Padres quickly now with a right-hander starting to throw. 5-0 St. Louis. The bat rack is starting to shake.
Drops the bat head down and in, and it goes off the Western Metals sign, what, second deck there? Off the facade of it. I think it was gone.
First home run for Ozuna in 98 plate appearances. That's it out of play. Brian Mitchell was replaced in the rotation with last night's starter. He's in the bullpen and getting loose. Uh-oh, they don't stop. Hit the big board. Way out of here. Jed Jerko. Cardinals go back to back. That's 4 of them. 3 in this inning. And let's have some fun.
What's his batting average now against the Padres? At what, 20 for 38 with 8 home runs, 17 RBIs against his former team.
8th home run, 17 driven in 11 games.
And A.J. Ellis is going to go out and talk to the youngster as you see the conga line. These guys are going to get worn out. The bench guys are going to be tired doing that. Another majestic blast. And that'll be it.
That'll be it for Eric Lauer. 4 home runs allowed, 3 in this inning, and some loud outs along the way. Adds up to a 6-0 lead. His head and thinking, what just happened? Let's go back to the first home run, pitch by pitch on Paul DeYoung.
You see he's trying to work the fastballs in. Comes up with the cutter there. Back outside, keeps on fouling off these pitches. They're all around the plate. Comes inside there again. Now that was the pitch right there. There was good job holding off there, and then he finally gets a cutter that he can take and hits it out for a 3-run home run, get the started. The first home run of 4 the Cardinals have hit tonight.
Wow. 3rd time this year the Cardinals have gone back-to-back in home runs. This is Brian Mitchell.
See, Brian Mitchell has made 7 starts. You talked about how he was taken out of the rotation. One of the big issues for him is he's 26 walks in 32 innings. 7+ ERA, or he's walked 7+ per 9 innings, and he's got a 7.71 ERA in 5 games, all starts here at Petco Park.
And DeYoung sends a fly ball out to deep right. It's at the wall and caught. That would have been a little Cardinals history. The Cardinals have tied the most home runs they've ever hit in a game in this ballpark. It was back on May 19th of 2008. Albert Pujols hit 2. Ryan Ludwig hit 1. And if you guess this, Al, who hit the last one, we're buying lotto tickets. I'll give you a hint, though.
Okay.
2008. Remember all the rotation of shortstops the Cardinals had.
That won't help me.
That won't help you.
You know how many players I've forgotten? Is Turris?
Cesar is Turris.
Oh, that was easy.
That was too easy for you.
Too easy for me.
I'll come up with a tougher one.
No.
That's good, though.
I had a little help. I got to admit.
At least you admitted
that would have. Yeah, that would have been a little tough. Even if I knew he was on the team.
There's Carson Kelly, and that's it out of play.
Now, once again, I said that Carson's only batted 157 at the big league level, but he hasn't had an opportunity like he's going to have here. And I've had discussions with John Mabry about, do you think he will hit at this level? And they all say yes. Just needs the time to be a little more consistent, and he'll get that opportunity with Yachty. By the way, Yachty is apparently.
And that's a liner into right. Jankowski with the catch.
He's apparently walking and doing very well. Feeling very good right now. Take your time, Yachty.
The Cardinals and the home runs piling up. Bader, Ozuna, and Jerko for good measure. 6-0 St. Louis. They're back better than ever. Philip at Philip 66, 8 gallons or more, and you can get a voucher for up to 50% off, up to 8 tickets to a Cardinals home game. Home run hitters: Bader, Ozuna, Jerko, all solo shots. Top half of this inning, DeYoung, a 3-run homer. Jankowski, a single to left back in the first. With more on Luke Weaver, tonight's starter, let's check in with Jim.
Yeah, you guys were talking about his command. Mike Matheny was saying that Weaver's struggles were easy to trace, falling behind in counts and walking too many batters, like Al said. Mike told me kind of the same exact issue we saw when he first came up, trying to be so precise that he got into bad counts. He didn't have trust in what he was throwing. Weaver was very good in his first 3 starts at 2.08 ERA. And walked just 5 over that stretch. Matheny told me, I think those first few starts with the pitcher Luke is going to be, and we saw a lot of that last year too, Dan.
We saw him in spring training, very beginning of this season, aggressive inside the strike zone. Let's hit to Jerko. He was playing off the bag and in, and there's one away.
And really, you have to say that he's done that tonight. He's been attacking the strike zone, getting ahead in the count. Hasn't walked anybody. He has allowed 3 hits for the first 10 batters. 2 of those were the first 2 to start a game, but he's getting ahead of the count, and that makes it a lot easier to pitch.
There's Eric Hosmer, a base hit to left. You know, you don't really think about it now with the Cardinals with the 4 home runs and the Padres shell-shocked, trailing 6-0, but a key moment early in this game, back-to-back singles against Weaver, coming off some rough starts, and then 3, 4, and 5 coming up, and he got back-to-back strikeouts and a pop-out to get out of the inning and keep the Padres off the board.
Yeah, both strikeouts were looking. That helps. And then the pop-up in foul territory. So I mean, he really went right after everybody. And even the first 2 hits were, I think, the first and third pitches of the game.
Wind is still here at the ballpark, so you know those weren't wind aided.
And it's also, this is a pitcher's ballpark, and at night the ball doesn't travel well. Well, it has tonight for the Redbirds.
And you wouldn't know it, would you?
No, you wouldn't know. And like I said, temperature was 59 degrees at game time. Boy, a high of 63, I think, today. And not much warmer this weekend.
Here's a 1-2 pitch to Hosmer, and a ground ball to Colton Wong. He'll make the play. Mentioned the story on Colton Wong done by the Players Tribune. I know a lot of fans are curious about, he wears that sleeve there for Hawaii on the left arm and tattoos on the right arm. Those are all tribal symbols in Hawaii. Mother passed away late in 2013. He has a cancer symbol there as well. And he's trying to raise money for those affected by the lava and the devastation done in Hawaii.
Told me today, I think it's over $60,000, and of course he contributed $20,000 himself, he and his wife.
There's Perella. Cardinals in collaboration with Colton and his wife Alyssa, specially priced $15 tickets Sunday, May 20th. And 10 of the $15 tickets will go to the GoFundMe account that he started up. Charging in. What a play here. Wow, what a play. Jed Jerko. Short hop, bare hand, all in one motion to first. Terrific play by the former Padre. Well done by Jed Jerko. And a 1-2-3 inning. Jason Day, defending champ Justin Wilson, and more of the greatest players in the world will be in St. Louis in less than 100 days. Some of the shots there of Belle Reve Country Club. Tickets for Monday's opening day through Thursday's opening round still available, but going very fast. Make sure you get those tickets. Belle Reve has done a fabulous job to help showcase the city.
And it was it the 60 U.S. Open was there at Belle Reve? I remember seeing some of the pictures back then and the difference of the trees, you know, newly planted trees, and now to see how beautiful it is right now, it's a gorgeous facility.
And they've taken out over 100 trees for this year's event. And then if you go back to the BMW Championship, which was in Belle Reve and at that golf course, we were in Milwaukee, 9/11 hit, and so the BMW was canceled, and the players were trying to figure out ways to get back to their homes and drive. Obviously, no one was flying. And then they also had to tiger-proof the course, which many places have had to do, and try to lengthen it, make it very tough. Belle Reve, a fabulous place, and they have done St. Louis proud. 3-1 pitch to Colton Wong. And he's aboard for the second time with a pair of walks. So that's the issue that you've talked about with Brian Mitchell, the walks.
Yeah, and Colton Wong, one final thing about his Gomi fund, when I was talking about the contribution that the Cardinals had made to there, you couldn't stop him talking about how wonderful this organization is and what first class the organization is. We all knew it, but he found it firsthand.
Weaver gets the bunt down. The sacrifice is good. And moving up on the play, Colton Wong. So Weaver came in with no sacrifices this year, and he's got two. First two times up. I don't know if Hosmer was charging a little bit harder, they could have had a play at second. And it's, you know, you're down by 6 and the team's not playing well. I get it, but
that's what happens, Dan.
Yeah, you get lulled to sleep.
Jump on top of a club that's struggling.
Pham hits it to short. 1 for 3 on the night.
Padres now, if you let them stay close to you, like last night, they're going to be very competitive because their strength is their late inning bullpen. So it's imperative to get up on them first and then keep on adding on like the Cardinals have tonight. And not Andy Green, but you know, and the coaching staff, but the players kind of have a tendency to get flat-footed, you know, not as aggressive as they would be if it was a tight ball game. And you don't make those plays, like, you know, take those risks or take those chances that you need to do. You can't be afraid to make a mistake in this game.
Harrison Bader 1 for 2, solo home run back in the third. And he hits it to second baseman Jose Pirela. Bader retired. Cardinals strand a runner, their second of the night. Manfred Cecil back up with more on that. Let's check in with Jim.
Yeah, Lions had apparently felt some stiffness on the plane ride to San Diego, and yesterday, according to Mike Matheny, the back locked up on him. They don't think it's anything serious. Cecil made one appearance this season for the Cardinals out on opening day before being sidetracked with a left shoulder issue. He pitched an extended spring, had 2 innings worth of rehab work. Mike Matheny said of Cecil, it's been a while. We'll see what it looks like, but we're going to need him. So Cecil up. And Tyler Lyons dealing with a back issue that they don't think is anything major. Even though he dealt with the same thing last year, they're not sure it's related.
Here's Cordero, Jimmy. There's a ground ball slowly hit up the first base line. Diving for the bag, Martinez, as well as Cordero. And that's out number 1 here in the home half of the 4th. But Jim, how about the rotation and the way things are going to shake out here the rest of the weekend and into early next week?
So Mike Matheny announced that Adam Wainwright will get the start on Sunday. Jack Flaherty will get the start on Tuesday in Minnesota. Gant goes to the bullpen. They were waiting to see how Waino recovered after throwing a bullpen yesterday. He felt fine. And then I didn't talk to him, but I get the sense he's very excited to be back in the rotation.
All right. So Adam Wainwright back, Flaherty coming back up. Cardinals have really been using that shuttle from Memphis to St. Louis.
And I read this, and I'm assuming it's accurate, but the Cardinals have had 21 transactions in 11 days this month.
Wow. I think a lot of teams took a page from what the Dodgers did a year ago.
They did it a little different. I mean, they kind of did it with their starting pitching. They had like 6 starters, and basically, you would start tonight, you go on the disabled list, and then they take another starter off the disabled list and do that. But Cardinals are really doing it pretty much out of necessity with the injuries, and then with the relievers. And just think of the contribution, the guys that have been going up and down the ladder. You know, they throw 3 innings and pick up a save, throw 3 innings, get a win, and get sent down. They have been outstanding.
That happened in back-to-back games.
Sure.
Brebbia picked up a save with 3 innings, and then John Gant came in that long extra inning game, and he picked up the victory and then was sent back down.
And about Adam Wainwright, Adam told me on Tuesday that he had thought he had re-aggravated his elbow in that start at Springfield. But he said, we'll see. He threw a bullpen on Wednesday, and he told me today, he goes, I feel much better.
Out to deep right center. There's Tommy Pham. There's 2 away. May 21st, just around the corner. 20,000 fans 16 and older take home a unique Cardinals t-shirt. The fans voted May's t-shirt of the month, and it features Yadier Molina. Visit cardinals.com/promotions for more info.
And make sure everybody understood what Adam told me. He thought he aggravated in the rehab start, but he threw the bullpen yesterday, and today reported that he felt so much better. You know, and sometimes you might have a little catch in the elbow or something, and you throw it, and maybe you kind of break it loose, and that's, we kind of talked about that, and he says whatever, it could have been that, but I felt really good, and so he's really looking forward to that start on Sunday. By the way, Villanueva, who just lined out there, he's now 0 for 31. Prior to that at bat, that had been the all-time longest slump by a position player in Padres history. 0 for 30. Now it's 0 for 31.
Further your point of the 31, or rather 21 transactions that you talked about, 21, only 3 of them are position players. 3 of the 21.
Yeah.
It's Kelly, Molina, and Luke Voigt, remember, was called up, never appeared, then sent back down. Here's an 0-2 pitch. And a ground ball to Colton Wong. Flips to Martinez. And it's another 1-2-3 inning. 7 in a row set down by Luke Weaver. unauthorized telecast presented by the authority of the Cardinals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The content and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cardinals. Here's Jose Martinez and a breaking ball in the dirt. Cardinals giving a breather tonight to both Carpenter and Fowler. Combined 6 for 53 in the month of May. And the replacements have come up with a couple of home runs. Jerko and Bader. Jerko, a dazzling defensive play down at third. He's chipped in with 2 hits. And that's fought off. Soft liner into right, and Jankowski is there. The BJC Healthcare difference makers in this game. Paul DeYoung, 9-pitch at bat, 3-run homer. Then Bader, Ozuna, and Jed Jerko all go deep.
We do that every night.
Offense really has been hit and miss, no pun intended, at times this season, but they got things going in the right direction tonight. Clearly 6 runs. Cardinals have 7 hits.
Came in third in baseball with home runs hit. All 6 runs via the home run tonight.
The 2-0 pitch to Ozuna. Talking with those that follow the Padres day in and day out. They said, is Ozuna always like this? I said, yes. I said, it's great. He smiles. He has fun. The game's supposed to be fun. He's entertaining. And oh, by the way, he's a heck of a player.
Yeah, and he really hasn't gotten started yet this year.
That's right.
Big personality and fits in very well in the clubhouse.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
I enjoyed watching him, and we saw him a bunch in spring training when the Cardinals would face the Marlins, and you'd see a lot of this. He's smiling, hopping around the batter's box. He just misses one. He could see the reaction with it. A lot of teams have been doing that early on. Busting him in, running fastballs in on his hands.
You see, where's the elbow guard? You know, accustomed to being pitched inside. But you know, a slugger like him, and he hit 37 home runs last year. You can try to go inside, but people don't have the command, and you don't have that fastball command to where they can successfully pitch in. They'll leave a number out over the plate, and that's where he jumps them.
Cardinals have drawn 3 walks. Ozuna on base for the 3rd time. And here's Jed Jerko, 2 for 2. Minimum 40 plate appearances against the Padres all time. Jerko first in batting average, slugging percentage, and OPS. Now hitting .526 against his former team.
Don't you wish he'd played for about 10 teams before he came here? He had that kind of production against everybody.
Couldn't imagine 10 teams saying goodbye to him.
That's true.
He's a pretty good player.
Well, and you know, Think about that defensive play he made, coming in on barehanding the ball. I mean, he was terrific last year defensively. Really impressive.
And he picks up another base hit. He's 3 for 3. And it's misplayed and left by Cordero. And with that, Ozuna to third. Cordero his second error.
Mike Matheny, I'm sorry, but he has to play the next 2 days. Jed Jerko.
Look at the Chevy Fox tracks and a breaking ball that was up.
Right off the end of the bat. Falls in front of our left fielder who misplays it. And Osuna, who was watching, alertly went to third.
So runners at the corners, and now DeYoung trying to build upon the 6-0 lead. Up the middle, and it's a base hit in the center. DeYoung is driven in 4 tonight. That makes it a 7-0 Cardinals lead.
Just enough to get over the mound and on through. Drives in his 18th run and had 2 hits last night, another 2 hits today.
Runners at first and second for Carson Kelly. 0 for 2 tonight. He's now 0 for 9 since being called back up.
Ryan Mitchell, you know, the Padres wanted him so badly they had to chase heavily in his big contract in order to make that trade with the Yankees.
First career 4 RBI night for Paul DeYoung. It's 2 balls and no strikes. If you're a Padres fan, one thing that you hold out hope for, you won't see it this year, but their farm system rated in the, depending on what publication you look at, top 3, top 5. One had it at the best. And you have talent coming, but not right now. The 2-0 in the air, left field, deep, but caught. Cordero with the catch. Jerko tags up from second to third, and there's 2 outs. Sunday, June 3rd, Christian Day at the ballpark, presented by Thrive-In Financial. And the guest speaker is Cardinals coach Willie McGee. For more information, cardinals.com/Christian Day. Here's Colton Wong, pair of walks tonight.
He's been swinging the bat much better the last couple weeks.
And that's fouled back, 0-2.
Isn't it funny? It just seems like when you start walking, you know, seeing the ball better, watching it into the glove, and seeing that it's in the strike zone, out of the strike zone, not chasing balls, and all of a sudden you start hitting the ball better.
Yes, Mike Matheny about moving Colton Wong up when he gets in one of those hot streaks, and he said we try to keep him in a good place where we feel he's comfortable and can thrive, and in the 8th place spot around 240. Anywhere else in the lineup this year, he's 4 for 30. So makes some sense. DeYoung career high with 4 driven in. Margot and the pitcher spot coming up. No activity for the Padres in their bullpen, so they're going to stay with their right-hander. I mentioned that Skip Schumacher is the first base coach of the San Diego Padres. And a night that Cardinal fans will never forget, October 7th of 2011. One of the epic games in recent Cardinal history. Roy Halladay and Chris Carpenter, and Schumacher was inserted into the lineup right before the first pitch. And the story goes that Tony La Russa had a feeling about Schumacher, who, by the way, was at second base primarily that entire year, and put him in center field right before the game for slumping John Jay. And they put Nick Punto, the shredder, in at second base. It's a 10-pitch at bat, a double, and the only run of the night as Chris Carpenter went the distance. And Skip Schumacher became a two-time world champ with the Cardinals.
First inning, wasn't it?
First inning.
First inning, and we think of that matchup, Halladay and Carpenter, and knew one run may be the difference, and it sure was. What a great effort.
And you think about the fortunes of those two franchises after that game. The Phillies were the favorite to come out of the National League. That team was loaded.
And then the last play of the game, Ryan Howard, the St. Louisan hitting and collapsing, tearing his Achilles. The Cardinals celebrating, and the Phillies on the other side picking up their great slugger, and pretty much ended his career.
And on the Cardinals ring, that world championship ring, there is a squirrel.
Yep.
The rally squirrel, and it was Skip Schumacher who was at the plate. So he had a hand in a couple of special moments of that run in 2011. Charlie Manuel, if you remember, was Roy Oswalt on the mound, and the pitch was a ball. Oswalt said, "Well, I was distracted by the squirrel." The umpire said, "So what? We can't do anything about it. It's a squirrel. He ran on the field." And Charlie Manuel, who's a hunter, later said, "If I had my gun, I would have shot it." That's Charlie Manuel for you. Walk to Ellis.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do with a 6-0 lead is walk the 7th place hitter, a leadoff man.
Margot with a double down the left field line back in inning number 2. Snaps a string of 7 straight, set down by Weaver. And Kelly just going out to slow him down, catch his breath, refocus.
Good point. You just don't want things to get away from him here in the 5th inning. .77 pitches.
And a strike. First mound visit for the Cardinals. It's off the end of the bat.
That was a decent changeup.
Pretty good.
And out front, just it's right off the end of the bat. That makes that 95, 96 mile an hour fastball look a lot quicker if he chooses to throw it.
Talking with Skip about his time in St. Louis, and he said obviously the teammates and the winning and Tony La Russa all come to mind, and he said Mark McGwire was instrumental in his career, but you may remember baby Risa and the Stutzman family and terminally ill child, and he said it was amazing how the fan base rallied behind him to raise money and awareness for Krabbe disease. And there's a strikeout. And the way that Skip was saying, Oh, here I am, and just some fringe player in the major leagues, and we all know he was more than that. Bench guy, as he put it. And he said this entire fan base and community and region all got behind me, and he said I've always felt like a Cardinal, and it just meant so much to me and my family, and obviously to the Stutzmans too.
Dan, there's a strong feeling that whoever's worn the Cardinal uniform, once you've worn that uniform, it's kind of the way you want to be identified by. Birds on the bat means an awful lot to the players.
That slapped the other way on a base hit. With the pitcher, Brian Mitchell. Walk a single to go along with a strikeout in this inning. His second hit this year, and we're back to the top of the lineup. Sean Stutzman, which was one of Skip's best friends as a kid. And you think about that long friendship that those two had, and yet it all comes together in St. Louis. Here's Jankowski. Runners at first and second. Pitch number 85 here from Luke Weaver. Outfield is shallow. With a changeup down, 2 balls and no strikes. Start to stretch and stir in that Cardinal pen.
In my mind, Luke's got to take another step, and that is to be more efficient so he can go deeper into ball games. It really doesn't go much beyond 5 innings. He wants to be the starter he is capable of being. He's going to have to go deeper into games. See, they're going to go to the bullpen because they've seen, really for the first time all night, falling behind the count.
The 5th 3-ball count of the night, 3-1. And the next 2, Jankowski, 3-2. He's walked 1. That was in this inning to start the inning.
Change up there. He got a little piece of it. But you can see some of these balls are getting up a little bit now. Always kind of a telltale sign that the first thing that goes is your legs. And when your legs start getting tired, the ball gets elevated. Bowman warming up.
The 3-2 pitch. Framed beautifully by Kelly. Comes back to get him. Good example of a catcher getting low and spreading out, getting very low, and then quiet hands. Right there.
Good changeup from Weaver. Really accentuated his release point. Got out there, reached out, and finished off the pitch. And picked up his 4th strikeout. 3 of the 4 strikeouts have been looking.
And now Hosmer. Been around 200, that batting mark here at home.
You can see the pitches. Took him a little bit to dial in the first couple innings, and then he's efficient. And now here in the 5th, the pitch count's getting up there.
A base hit to left and a ground out for Hosmer. 2 runners on with 2 outs. That's it out of play. For years we'd go to Kansas City and they'd say, well, we've got Hosmer for 4 more. Then it was 3 more. We're trying to build around him. They've got good. Everybody thought he'd be a Yankee. I think the last team people thought he'd be a part of, San Diego.
Yeah.
He chops that back to Weaver, and Luke will get through 5. Flips to Martinez for the out. Padres strand a pair. 7-0 St. Louis. Brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. By Barnes Jewish Hospital and Washington University physicians, national leaders in medicine. And by Ford, going further so you can. So Weaver does have a helmet on, and he was due up first, but his night is through. So Greg Garcia, San Diego native, will be the pinch hitter.
Dan, do you remember his grandfather?
Oh, sure.
Used to sit down by the dugout and everything. Player, managed in the big leagues, big league coach. You know, just, I actually played for him one year, playing winter ball in Mexico, and went to the Caribbean World Series with the team he was managing. And just knew him when I was in junior college, and just a great guy. Just 96 years young now, grew up, born in East St. Louis. And one of the most respected men in all of baseball.
He was a bat boy when his grandfather was
Colorado.
Yep, with the Colorado Rockies. And Greg loves to tell the story that his grandfather tackled him as there was a bench clearing brawl, and he tackled him and said, "What are you doing? You're the bat boy. You cannot go out there." Greg is one of the more likable people you'll find in the game. This young man right here.
Of course, at that time, his grandfather was up in age too, and he's probably saying, "Where am I going?" Wasn't quite like Don Zimmer with Pedro Martinez.
That was an ugly scene, the Red Sox and Yankees. It seems like that rivalry, always good, but has gotten back to the level that maybe it was in the early to mid 2000s. Our old buddy Joe Kelly was right in the thick of things.
Yeah.
Bench clearing brawl.
Well, some teams just don't like each other.
Here's a 3-1 pitch to Greg Garcia. Up the middle and a base hit. That's how we start play here in the top of the 6th. As a part of MLB's Play Ball initiative, May 20th, all kids 15 and younger entering with a ticket go home with their very own Rawlings Kids Baseball Glove. They'll receive a free ticket voucher for a future game, and if you're 48 inches and under, you'll get a free ticket to Six Flags. It's all coming up May 20th.
That pinch hit for Garcia's number 30, and that broke a tie he had with So Taguchi for 11th place. So Greg is in 11th place all by himself on the all-time Cardinal pinch hit list with 30 of them.
There's Tommy Pham, who is 1 for 3. Pham with a drive out to deep right. Will it carry? It's at the wall. Off the top of the wall. It may be gone. Jankowski thinks it is. And now Pham is racing to third. Garcia will score. It's at least 8-0. It might be 9.
Yeah, Mike Mancini is going to have that checked, and kind of a giveaway is when the right fielder thinks it's over the wall. And the umpires will get together. They're not going to get a video review. They're just checking.
It'll be a video review. It just won't be a challenge. This will be an umpire review. It's off the top of the wall. And I would think, unless they are definite, if somebody said, oh, I know it's over the wall, they're going to call it a home run. So Jankowski, great effort. Tommy Pham, the home run, his 7th of the year. And it's RBI 16 and 17 for Pham. And that's now 5 home runs hit by the Cardinals, the most they have ever hit in a game here at Petco.
That's also 7 home runs, 7 steals in his quest for 30-30.
So it looked like that ball may have hit a fan as it hit off the top of the wall. The ball inside to Bader, who is homered. Sure did.
And we'll look off the face and back into the playing field.
That's tough. If you're a fan, your team is trailing 9-0. You're going for a souvenir and you take it right off the chin. Injury to insult.
Huh. Maybe he'll become a Cardinal fan.
I mean, that's a tough night right there. At least he's smiling a little bit about it.
Did he? And he didn't get the ball.
The ball gets away, and Bader is thrown out at first.
It's only the 2nd strikeout by a Cardinal tonight.
So the Cardinals with 5 home runs and now a 9-0 lead, and here's Jose Martinez. We were talking about ice bags earlier. He's going to need the ice bag tonight.
There's a giveaway tonight. Ken Caminetti bobblehead. One of his daughters threw out the first pitch. He was a member of the '98 National League Championship team that they're celebrating this weekend.
9-0. And that pitch down and in. 3-0. Home run, a 3-run shot back in the 2nd inning. 3 home runs, all solo home runs in the 3rd. And now a solo home run here in the 6th. And a 2-out walk. 3rd issued by Mitchell. Brings in Marcell Ozuna. He's 3 for 3. Pair of singles, home run, 2 runs scored.
See Mitchell taken out of the rotation because he had 26 walks in 32 innings, and as you mentioned, he's already walked 3 in this one.
Look at the night for Marcell Ozuna. This base hit up the middle. He would come around to score the home run by DeYoung, and then a solo shot down the left field line. I misspoke. He also has walked and scored. Man on deck, Jerko is 3 for 3. Here's a 1-0. Ripped out to center, and that'll be caught. Some loud outs in this game.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, the Cardinals have only struck out twice tonight, and they've gotten into a little strikeout binge again, but not tonight. Their binge is home runs.
And there's ball 1 to Jerko, 3 for 3. 2 singles, home run, 2 runs scored. Cardinals up to 11 hits. And it's popped up. Foul territory. Catch by Hosmer. Tommy Pham gets in the act. Home run number 5 for the Cardinals. In the face. 9-0 St. Louis. It's Michael Wacha here in San Diego. Our Budweiser what's on tap. His last 4 starts. ERA is under 2. And a 2-0 record in those 4 starts. Some changes for the Cardinals. Jed Jerko goes from 3rd to 1st. Greg Garcia pinch hit, stays in the game. And your new pitcher for the Cardinals, Matt Bowman. Or Chevy Cole to the pen.
Bowman appearing for the 15th time. 3 days rest. That must feel like about a month for him. He's used so frequently. Hasn't had the year that we're accustomed to see him to this point, but expect to see a little better stuff right now with this amount of rest. He did have struck out a season high 3 batters on Monday.
Good breaking ball, and it's 0-2 on Jose Perella.
Normally Bowman comes in when you have men on base, and he's been very good at straining 9 of 11 inherited runners. Cardinals have done a real good job in that department all season.
It's the first 5 home run game for the Cardinals since interleague play last year in Baltimore. You expect it in Camden Yards. You do not expect it at Petco.
That's for sure.
And the 1-2 pitch. There's an offer at it. And the 2-2 pitch. Ripped sharply past Garcia and into left field.
See the movement, but like to get it a little lower, and hammered to left for Garcia just coming in that game. He was well off the third base line, but beyond his reach.
Do you know there's even rain potentially in our forecast?
Yes, it rained a little bit when I was out on the street this afternoon.
The fly ball lifted into right center. Who wants it? It'll be Tommy Pham. Center fielder taking charge on the play. And that's out number 1.
And Bader, like you say, the center fielder takes charge when you make sure you vacate the area, and he did so late. Yeah, Dan, I think there was 30% chance this afternoon, like 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and then maybe into the wee hours of the night. But have you ever seen rain in San Diego?
Never.
I was going to say, probably
be a first for me. Right before the base hit from Perella, I was watching the Cardinal dugout. Jose Oquendo had told Greg Garcia, be ready, ball's coming right at you. And sure enough, it was just to his left. But that's how locked in Jose is with his pitcher's situation, the counts, understanding how you're going to pitch to him, looking at the video of the opposition.
He told me that there's some games I feel more tired than I did when I played, because I'm paying attention to so many things, watching what's happening, guessing, you know, with an educated guess and a real good educated guess. And when he played, there were a lot of times he would move as a pitch was being made. And he'd get burned every now and then, but more times than not, he had just that instinct that he knew where the ball was going to go.
Down and in, and it's evened up at 2-2. Down and in again, 3-2. The check swing did not go. Cardinals Hall of Fame induction class has been selected. Join the Cardinals and Edward Jones. Looking forward to honoring Harry Brackeen, Vince Coleman, Ray Langford. 2018 Hall of Fame induction ceremony August 18th at 3. That's at Ballpark Village. Learn more at cardinals.com/HOF. It'll be open to the public. So 2 runners on, 9-0 our score with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th.
Chase Headley.
Headley, the pinch hitter for Freddie Galvis.
And that'll break Galvis' streak of playing every inning in the season.
Here's a 1-0. Off speed pitch, 1 ball, 1 strike. The Great American Ballpark has seen 62 home runs hit this year. Petco 44, but even the 44 to me is a bit surprising.
Very high.
I mentioned now the new buildings, the downtown area have changed the wind pattern since the ballpark opened up. That floats in for a strike. 1-2.
Either overly strong and not quite having the command. You know, that last pitch was supposed to be inside and it was up and away. Got that real good sinking fastball so you can get a double play ball and get out of this inning. And every time he's thrown the ball down, they've laid off it. Brevia. Brevia's been on that shuttle between Memphis and St. Louis, what, 4 times already?
Swing and a miss. Strikeout of Headley. First strikeout for Matt Bowman.
Away from the left-handed hitter.
There's Ellis, fly to right and also walked. The pitch down low. On the air tomorrow, 6:30 St. Louis time. But check that 7. Waka and Tyson Ross. There's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Last night a 2-1 win. Cardinals' 8th win. By a margin of just 1 run. The 5th 1-run win in the month of May. And a liner, and that's off the glove of Garcia. And the Padres will get on the board. It'll be a double for Ellis to make it 9-1.
Ellis' 2nd RBI of the year. Just beyond the reach of Garcia down the left field line to get on the scoreboard, and Mike Maddox will come out and pay a visit to Bowman. Mike's done a real nice job. First thing he does is put his hand on the shoulders, kind of a calming sense to the pitchers, but he has a real good way of communicating with them, getting them to relax, just kind of making it real positive. Derek Lilliquist has his way of communicating. Mike has a different way, and I think the Cardinals have really enjoyed hearing another voice.
There's Margot and then Caesar at the on deck circle. Runners at second and third. And a ball low. Two and 0. And a grounder foul. 2 balls, 1 strike. Two and 2. Cardinals with 5 home runs hit tonight. The 5 home runs hit by 5 different players. DeYoung, Bader, Ozuna, Jerko, and Pham. The 2-2 did not go. Full count.
Had trouble throwing strikes this year. Just not attacking like we're accustomed to seeing him. Used an awful lot the last couple of years. Just gets a little piece of this one right off the end of the bat, right into the mask of Carson Kelly. Some catchers wear their mask real tight, and others wear it real loose. So
out in front of the plate, Kelly ditches the mask, and a nice pick by Jerko at first. Padres strand a pair. They pick up a run. Weaver gives the Cardinals 5, but the story in this game, the offense, 11 hits. And the Cardinals with 5 home runs by 5 different players. And with that, if the Cardinals hit a home run this inning, the Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri.
So we are doing that in the 3rd inning. And the Cardinals had 3 solo shots, but first home run, first scoring was a 3-run home run off DeYoung.
Some changes now all along the infield for the San Diego Padres. Chase Headley stays in the game. He's at 3rd. Christian Villanueva makes his first ever appearance at shortstop, going from 3rd to short. Aswahe is at 2nd base. And Perella goes from 2nd to 1st. Hosmer is out. Our crowd tonight, 28,207. 28207. That's driven out to right. Line drive that's caught. DeYoung 2 for 4 with 4 driven in.
Jankowski's been busy out there in right field tonight.
Six putouts.
6 putouts, yeah.
Carson Kelly 0 for 3.
7.
And a grounder that's hit to short. Scott had the report in our update back in the studios of St. Louis about Manny Machado, free agent to be, and boy, is he putting up some numbers. He's going to get paid.
Get paid, and there's been a lot of speculation whether the Cardinals would be interested in him. And I mean, this year.
I think every team would be interested.
Well,
in
that's true, but I mean,
Manny Machado.
Some people couldn't afford the asking price. Others couldn't afford, to take that risk with just renting a player. But the Cardinals have had a lot of success with guys like that in their walk year, they acquire, get them into the St. Louis environment, fall in love with baseball heaven, and sign them up long term. Let's see, 25.
But he and Harper
Both
hit
them,
free agency at early ages. And Wong hits it to short. Villanueva with the low throw, and Wong still out as Perella couldn't hold on and then gathered it in. And John Brebbia coming on. It's time to stretch here in San Diego. To St. Louis. And comes in, and our Chevy Cole to the pen. He's done a very nice job. 4 games, 0 ERA, 7 innings, 9 strikeouts. There's a look at the travels of John Brebbia. You know, lesser teams, he's not only in the bullpen, he's a setup man, maybe a closer.
That's right. Of course, you could say that about 3 or 4 different guys that have been going up and down like this, but you know, he understands it. He's got options left. He comes out there and his pitch arsenal, his Hyundai pitch arsenal, fastball, slider, and you know, we've told the story many times. He came out of nowhere last year. I mean, I remember that the Cardinals coaching staff didn't even know who he was. Never been in an invite to the camp or brought over from minor league camp to pitch in a spring training game, and showed up, and boy, he was good last year in 50 appearances.
A swing and a miss and a strike. But this is where good clubs become championship teams, when you can go and find players to fill pieces, to fill roles. And you have to give the Cardinals a ton of credit. John Mozeliak, president of baseball operations, Michael Gersh, their staff. Think about what's happening with this club this year. A career minor leaguer is batting 3rd in Jose Martinez. A guy like John Brebbia is found from independent baseball. He's in the minor league, signs as a minor league free agent. Now he's developed into a big leaguer. They scout over in Japan, looking at video and saying, hey, I think Miles Michaelis, his stuff will play. And now he might be an all-star. I mean, you gotta give credit where credit's due, man. I mean, they've done a great job.
And Danny, think about also, you know, you got other franchises that are tanking to get better. You know, part of their rebuild. They have, you know, kind of trying to get high draft picks.
And a base hit into center.
And the Cardinals, year after year, try to put that competitive team out there, and they're not getting those high draft picks. They're getting usually from, like, say, 20th to the 30th pick in the draft. Jankowski gets his 2nd hit.
Let's put it this way. Do you think if the Padres felt that Jed Jerko was about to hit 50 home runs in 2 years that he'd be let go? No way. Cardinals saw something in that. They saw versatility. Colton Wong, a draft pick. Carson Kelly, a draft pick. Tommy Pham, Paul DeYoung. And with that, the depth to go out and make a trade to get Marcell Ozuna. I mean, these are championship type players we're talking about on a team that's been on a 20-year run with no rebuild.
Right, no rebuild. That's the amazing thing. Competitive year after year. The DNA of the ownership, it's win, not lose, so we can possibly win.
And more coming. There's Willie McGee. I mentioned the coaching staff, and there's a cohesive unit there. John Mozeliak said, hey, we need to make some changes. Seems to be the right move so far. I mean, but think about where they're at right now with teams that, and we talked about this, you go through 20, 25 different pitchers throughout a year, or with all the makeup dates because of the poor weather. You better have depth because of double headers and no off days. And the Cardinals have a guy like Jack Flaherty or a Gant, Alex Reyes, Austin Gomber, all would be in a rotation somewhere.
Dakota Hudson, you know.
I mean, John and his staff have done truly a remarkable job in keeping the Cardinals relevant and competitive.
How about in spring training, all the outfielders we saw, the depth that they have there.
Another good point. I remember asking Mo, and I said, well, how close are some of these outfielders? Rosarena and some of the others that we saw every day in spring training. He said they're a phone call away. You know, we feel that we've got depth there. Bader. It's not only drafting properly, but you have to develop. And that's
no doubt
the other part, too, that comes into play. In the minor leagues, there is a, I don't like to use the term cardinal way, but there is a way that they go about it that gets these guys ready to go. Gary LaRocque, with what he does with his various camps, both after the season and right before. This isn't just luck. When you go 20 years doing this, and John has had his hands on all of it. Out to center, Pham racing back at the wall, and it's off the wall. A run will score, and that's the first run allowed by Brebbia this year to make it a 9-2 St. Louis lead.
Very nice job of Harrison Bader backing up that play, because it looked like he hit right at the base of the wall, right around the 396 sign, and the Karen shot past Tommy Pham. He was so close to there, but Harrison Bader right there to pick it up. I won't say his throw was very good, but it didn't matter. He got there, came up firing, he stopped Perella at second base. Looks like a pretty good player.
Here's Cordero, 3 hits last night. Hitless tonight over 3. There's a tight slider.
You know, one of the things is you see John Gant. And one of the things about the Cardinals, I think when you walk into the Cardinal complex, the minor league complex, you see the championship banners, you see this, you see that, but it's all about winning. It's ingrained in your brain that we are here to win. We're here to develop, to learn, to get better, but we're here to win. And as you go up the ladder, you just keep on thinking that, all right, I have succeeded at this level. I'm going to go to the next level, and I'm going to continue this process of winning.
I like when you walk through the halls and you see the pictures of current major league players in a Cardinal uniform that have been drafted through the system, and it's there by design. Those young players to see it and say, hey, I was with that guy at AA or AAA. I'm not that far away.
And it's like 20 guys.
Right. Here's a 2-2 pitch to Cordero, as Brebbia rears back in a foul ball.
And look at some of the plaques that talk about the players of the month or players of the year, and you know, and just about all those minor league guys reach the big leagues. And a lot that have reached the big leagues, if they don't reach it with St. Louis, they reach it with other organizations that have been able to use them to acquire major league talent.
Good pitch up and in again. And the 2-2 pitch. That's ripped into right field. Run will score. This would make it a 9-3 Padre lead. Cordero thinking 3 and in there with a triple. So a 9-3 St. Louis lead, a 2-out triple.
This year.
Cordero his first of the season.
Cardinals still only have 1 triple, and it really is tainted. Remember the ball that got away from the right fielder?
Sunday night, Jason Hayward.
Yeah, Jason Hayward. And
so Brebbia trying to get the final out here in the bottom of the 7th. And send us to the 8th.
Villanueva 0 for 2 and a walk, so he's 0 for 31 right now. Longest drought by a position player in their history.
And a pitch outside.
I'm saying, give me a left-handed pitcher.
Brebbia is struggling a bit here. First time he's been roughed up in the big leagues this season. And the 1-0. I was at lunch in spring training, which is the best place to meet and visit with scouts. They give you everything.
Oh, yeah.
And they said, boy, I don't know how St. Louis does it, but where did they get this Brebbia guy? What is going on here? He said that's the pickup of the year for the Cardinals a season ago. That was in spring training this year. They were impressed with the fact that the Cardinals took a flyer on him and it paid off. But even the scouts of opposing teams talking about how the Cardinals find ways to do it. That's just a bit low. Looked to be a strike. 3-1. One way or another, this might be the last batter for Brebbia. Pitch count up to 23. And a ground ball to Paul DeYoung. Padres pick up a couple. And that sends us to the 8th. It's 9-3 Cardinals here in Santiago. Well, he's all smiles, and the one fan, he may smile, but he might be missing some teeth. But at the old ball yard for the Cardinals thus far tonight. (9-3). That slapped the other way down the left field line and out of play.
Garcia pinch hit back in the 6th inning. Got a base hit, came around to score on the 2-run home run by Tommy Pham. They haven't scored since then.
And that's put on the ground. Villanueva not in time, and an infield hit for Garcia. 2 for 2 off the bench. our Nissan drive of the game. Tommy Pham in this home run, the 5th hit by the Cardinals. Oh,
You just like that replay.
I do. I think a lot of fans do. I don't think he does.
Yeah, I was going to say. He's getting a lot of airtime, though.
Oh, we won't be the only one showing that. I can guarantee you that.
All good. Teeth are there. Bleeding stop. And we were home at this time last night. We still got Caminiti.
2 balls, no strikes on Tommy Pham. And a strike, 2-1. Pham with 2 hits tonight, also lined out, grounded out.
How about Mitchell? He came in back in the 3rd inning.
And Pham a liner into center. Boy, everything he has hit in this series has been hard. 3-hit night, and now a fan has made his way onto the field. And again, just to remind everybody, in these situations, we do not show the fan. Per rules of Fox Sports, as well as Major League Baseball. Will not give the fan any more attention. He has made, I should say, a couple of nice moves, though, on security guards.
But he got a little tired.
So Tommy Pham, 3-hit night with 2 singles, a home run. The fan has now been brought down, and they will escort the fan off the field. Here it is. Boy, this is squared up. Bam. Look at that ball knuckling.
Yeah, it just hit so hard. As you said, he's 3 hits tonight. He was 2 for 4 last night, just smoking the ball. Everything's hit hard. Even his outs are pretty much line drives.
3 players coming into play tonight with over 20 walks and under 25 strikeouts. Tommy Pham, one of the 3. Pham, one of 2 National Leaguers. The other, Joey Votto. And that Pham being escorted off the field, and
Yeah, he's thinking
get
about
back
now.
to play.
Might not have been a good idea.
So Pham, Carlos Santana, the other, and Joey Votto, all 3 for the National League. 20 or more walks, less than 25 strikeouts.
And in the 70s, when streaking was popular, one of the best ones I saw was a fan in Montreal. He was streaking, and then the police department in Montreal just let him out naked downtown Montreal.
All right. Was it cold?
I don't remember, but it didn't matter. But I think you'd feel a little naked either way in a very cosmopolitan city. Doesn't sleep though, so there are plenty of people to help him out if they wanted to.
It was cold. You might be able to tell. Here's the 0-1, and Bader hits it out of play.
The on deck circle.
It's Dexter Fowler. No balls and 2 strikes on Bader. Lifts a fly ball into shallow right, and the catch made by Jankowski. The Fontanas and Corningstones are here tonight in San Diego. Want to say hi to family and friends back home. Enjoying Cardinal baseball. As Dexter Fowler will pitch it.
I saw a sign saying Passmore's were going to be coming into town for their reunion.
Is that right?
Yeah. They get around, don't they?
Oh, the Passmore family reunion. Great bunch of people. Huge Cardinal fans. Met them originally down in Miami.
It's amazing. They're such good fans. They had you speak for 45 minutes about Cardinal baseball.
Oh, yeah. They're very high on the Cardinal chances that year. As Fowler bounces it to the right side. Tough play. They'll get Pham at second.
Bouncer here. And gets the force out at second base. Not exactly the way you would teach it, but did the right thing. Get the lead man there. Garcia moves on over to third.
And here's Marcell Ozuna. Runners at the corners. Trying to extend this 6-run lead. A solo home run, a single for Marcell. He's walked and pops that foul out of play.
That's a rip, doesn't it? Nothing easier with his swing.
Hanging breaking ball and a fly ball into left. And the catch is made. Cardinals strand a pair. It's 9-3 here in San Diego. Go from Memphis to St. Louis. Made a start. Wasn't overly sharp against Minnesota, but he came in an extra inning game and picked up a win. And now he comes out of the bullpen, and certainly you think about finishing up this ball game with 2 innings.
And it's one of the things he can do is be a long man in the bullpen or spot starter. Once again, Adam Wainwright will make the start on Sunday.
Nine to 3 our score. The first pitch is hit out of play. Chase Headley at the plate for San Diego. Cardinals trying to make a winner out of Luke Weaver. He would go to 3-2. The Cardinals would go to 22-14.
This game, then you got 2 more games left in this series. You've got to at least win 3 of the 4, and I like to get greedy and think that you got to get all 4. It's not easy to win a 4-game series, but the Cardinals did sweep one earlier this year.
It always seemed like the lefty starters would give Cardinals problems. That has not been the case thus far this year. If they hold on, Cardinals will have won 8 of the 11 games started by a left-hander this season. And a strikeout of Headley.
And what does make sense is they were hitting only 208 against left-handers this, coming into tonight. Good start here. Bottom falling out of that one. Headley's 2 plate appearances, 2 strikeouts.
A.J. Ellis.
Jay's the all-time Austin Peay hits leader with 263 career hits.
Against sub 500 teams, doing the math here, the Cardinals 10-2. 500 or better, Cardinals are 11-12. Which you would think, if you're a championship club, which the Cardinals hope to be, that would improve, but you have to dominate against the lower tier of the divisions. And it seems like more than ever, disparity between the lower end teams and the top teams is greater now than it ever has been.
Oh yeah, and when you think about the Central, you got 4 teams that are playing very well in the Central Division of the National League. Everyone in that division except for Cincinnati, and the Cardinals did what they had to do against Cincinnati. They swept.
Ellis with a walk. He's had a good night. As they currently sit, games tonight, Milwaukee and Pittsburgh have game back. Chicago a winner today. 1 game out.
Milwaukee is leading 11-10 over Colorado in the bottom of the 10th. Cincinnati's leading the Dodgers 5-2. It's in the after 7.
Matt Harvey made that start. Matt Harvey picked up by the Reds for Devin Mesoraco.
Pittsburgh was an easy winner, 11-2 over Frisco.
Manuel Margot at the plate. And the 2-0 pitch by Gant. Instead, time is called. Granted by Laz Diaz. In our annual This One's For You telecast. last year, and Laz Diaz was part of that umpiring crew. He has a military background. Also, his children have been in the military as well.
Remember you telling that story. Very nice.
Couldn't have been any nicer before the game, and part of the Marines. He said his proudest moment seeing his son part of the military and family from Cuba and what it means to him. He's in the perfect area if you love our military like we all do.
I hope Sunday they still have that tradition of
they do.
Having the Marines and the Navy, one in left field, one in right field.
Little chopper to short, out at second.
And the act of throwing, so it's an out.
I don't think they would have been able to turn two anyway. Maybe. A couple years ago, this would have been safe.
But you can see you reach in trying to extract the ball and make the throw, and he lost the handle. So
baseball realized that rule didn't really apply. It's common sense that clearly was a catch. Then the transfer was when you saw the mishap. Here's Matt Caesar, former Cub. It's the return of Andrew McCutchen to Pittsburgh tonight. The Pirates won 11-2. McCutchen now part of the Giants. Ground ball that's hit to DeYoung, and he makes the play. 9-3 as we head to the ninth. Runs, big part of the story tonight. Our Budweiser plays of the game. The Cardinals prior to tonight had never hit 5 in a game at this ballpark. Well, it changes now. 5 home runs hit by the Cardinals. The bat lip with that fan out there in right. Tough way to get a souvenir, and I'm not even sure he got it.
Yeah, I don't think he did.
Matt Strom pitched Monday against the Nationals in our Chevy Cole to the pen.
That was his debut this season as he came off the disabled list with a torn patella tendon last year. Underwent surgery on July the 7th.
Cubs are winners today with the White Sox 11-2. Mentioned the Pirates won by that final as well over the Giants.
And Milwaukee now is a final over Colorado 11-10.
In the 8th, the Reds 5, the Dodgers 2. Here's a 2-0 pitch to Jerko. just wish Marcell Ozuna would have a good time. You know, just smile every once in a while. Two and two. John Mabry has his hitter's book there and protected everybody with it. No big deal. Bill Miller behind him. The 2-2. That's out of play. Don't talk enough about Billy Miller, who's always so positive.
Yes.
Which in this game of failure, you need that. As Jerko pulls it foul, and you think about how different coaches go about their business. Jose Oquendo's a guy that's in your face, and whether you like it or not, he's going to tell you how he feels. Bill Miller, kind of the comforting sort, smiling, pat on the back. There's all different kinds of ways to try to get the best out of a player. You think about it on the flip side, if you're the San Diego Padres and you're rebuilding and young players, you know, some of these guys could turn into stars and you don't want to lose them.
Yeah. And there's more teaching at this level than ever before. You know, guys are rushed to the big leagues, and that's not to say veterans don't learn on a daily basis also. But
and Jerko is aboard again.
that hit him or ball forward?
Well, I think A.J. Ellis is trying to figure that out as well, as he looked back at the home plate umpire and then hustled after that ball. Another guy always smiling, Jose Martinez, choreographing all the dances before the first pitch.
11 years in the minor leagues will make you smile when you're wearing a big league uniform.
And then if you pan a little bit to the right, you got Tommy Pham, and it's a 9-3 game.
Intense.
And he's as intense as they come.
Concentrating, watching. But I mean, that's what you got to do. I mean, you may face this guy in a game-winning situation tomorrow. You don't know much about him. Did spend a little time in Kansas City last couple of years.
Long way to go. Jankowski is there, makes the catch. One away here at the top of the ninth.
Jerko did walk.
It's the 50th time in Petco Park history to have a 5-home run game or better. Only 6 teams have done it. The Cardinals now one of them. A strike to Kelly.
I got 9 putouts by Jankowski in right field.
He's been busy. Luke Gregerson warming up in the Cardinals pen.
Come on, Carson.
Nothing to the count. And a strikeout of Bryson Kelly. Here's Colton Wong. Two outs and a runner at first. Just watching this young man throw the baseball, looks like he'd be pretty tough on lefties.
Yeah. Kind of that free and easy, kind of throws from the 3/4. Looks like it's released behind the back. Short arms it a little bit, so deceptive, gets on you a little quicker than you might think.
Two balls and a strike. It's out of play. Yet the surprising part of this young man's career is that the lefties have been better against him than right-handed batters.
Go figure, huh?
Yep.
You know how they say lefties are a little different?
Oh, I know.
I don't have to admit it like that, but
That's who I'm working next to.
his favorite TV show, How I Met Your Mother.
You don't like that show?
I can honestly say I don't think I've ever seen it. Do you?
I've seen it.
And do you like it?
Yeah, and I'm not left-handed.
Well, what does that say about you?
Nice play. It's short. Juan retired. Balboa Theater here in San Diego. It's 9-3. Padre. Cardinals traded Gregerson for Khalil Green. Chevy called to the pen. 11th appearance. Rough start, but starting to settle in.
You know, he's had a real nice career. You know, he was a Double-A pitcher when the Cardinals lost him, and it was kind of one of those little snafus. He was a player to be named later, but it was after that they had set their roster, and Padres kind of picked a good one, and 9 years later he's never been back to the minor leagues. Had a real nice career, 30 saves a couple years ago with Houston. He always had that good sink or good slider.
That's hit down the right field line and a home run. First of the year for Jankowski.
3-hit game for him.
Luke Gregerson spent 5 years here with the San Diego Padres. The slider didn't do much.
Yeah, it looked like that slider just sat there. It was funny because he was talking yesterday about 1 year he lost the slider. And he said, boy, he was having nightmares because this was the pitch, his only pitch. And just lost the feel of it at one time, but of course he got it back.
Back to Gregerson. Flips to first to Jerko and the out. The Swahe. Those 5 years, he averaged better than 9 strikeouts per 9. Appeared in 363 games. A lot of games for the Padres. And had an ERA under 3, and we say it all the time. You got an ERA under 3 in that big a sample size, you're pretty good. 9-4 our score. Jose Perella. And a strike. Another one. And that's in the gap in left center. On an 0-2 pitch. And Perella to second base. .104 off the bat, the miles per hour. 0-2, and he left it up.
He hits the ball hard. His third hit of the night. No home runs for third place hitter, but smokes the ball. Arrow had 3 hits last night, 3 for 4. Tonight, 1 for 4, but a triple and RBI.
Hit to short. 2 outs.
One more, Danny. Gregerson has been on the World Baseball Classic, been on the United States team 13 and 17. Had 3 saves for the championship club a year ago, the United States team. Tells you what Joe Torre thought of him.
Christian Villanueva.
Goes for 32 now.
They're picking up something here with Gregerson. This is odd in a 9-4 game and a 1-ball, 1-strike count with 2 outs.
It's Jeff Nelson. Ward.
Well, they're picking up something with Gregerson.
Yeah.
That's clearly what it is. And apparently it's a balk, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I would think, but Jeff Nelson, the crew chief, is the one talking with Mike Matheny. It looked like he was the one that detected whatever it is, but Gregerson, in all of his years pitching, is kind of waiting for an explanation. Couldn't tell anything from that replay. These umpires aren't losing anything. They still got their concentration, don't they?
On what?
Something. But you know, sometimes umpires just think they see things that nobody else sees. Got you in the book. And now Laz Diaz wants to have a conversation. I'm wondering if he's wondering if the count would be. Yeah, the count called a ball. I believe.
It should be a 1-ball, 1-strike count. And a chopper that's foul.
Or do they take that pitch away, Dan?
I guess they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense. With the dead ball and then the move.
Yes.
So 1-1. I'll be out. I didn't see anything.
I didn't see anything on that replay at all, and I think that's why Gregerson was so hot, because he felt in his mind that he didn't do anything.
It's personal history for me, Al. I'm seeing rain in San Diego for the first time. This is a great moment. Here's a 1-2 pitch.
Dan, it's not going to stop the game.
No, sir.
It can rain hard, but this is not a hard rain. But it is rain.
The 2-2 pitch taken high. And the 3-2. Got him. A strikeout. The game comes to a close. A final of 9-5, and Gregerson still is hot.
Well, all I know is it's a good all game for the Cardinals. They win 9-5. Be ready to play again tomorrow.
Cardinals win at 9-5. Coming up next, Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live. 9-5 the final. Cardinals have taken the first 2 of the series.